Welcome, ladies, gentlemen. This is Burning Metal, all of YouTube. I am your host, Tom, and tonight, Tanto Tom returns, because I figured it was probably time to give a little proper due to the Cold Steel SR1 Lite, which happens to be one of my favorite daily carries, just for the fact that it is... well executed. I think bang for the buck what you're getting, considering this is made in Taiwan. It is made out of 8CR14 MOV, just some basic stainless steel, good corrosion resistance. Actually, the performance I've got out of the edge retention hasn't been bad. I've processed a lot of big boxes with this, and it's held up pretty well. So with that said, we're going to pair it with some 1792, aged 12 years. 1792 is one of my all-time favorite distilleries. If you've ever been to Bardstown, Kentucky, it's really got its own rustic charm. It's not as big and polished and done over for the tourist industry as some of your others. And with that said, they've kind of stopped doing tours and closed their gift shop there, so that kind of sucks, but whatever. Man, just if you've never been to Kentucky and anywhere around a couple of big distilleries in the spring and during the distillation seasoning, the whole smell of that mash is in the air. It's a beautiful thing. And the first barrel pick I did was at 1792. So, hey, we'll get into that. But let's take a look at this Cold Steel SR1 Lite. So, Cold Steel's been around for quite some time, man. Back in the 80s, they were the ones that pioneered that Tanto tip, the American Tanto tip. Tanto, however you want to say it. I say Tanto just because it annoys my coworker. So I'll accentuate the Tanto every time. But what a great looking blade. Pretty good geometry on that edge. The grind lines, everything's pretty damn tight. And, like I said, 8CR14 MOV, correction, I think I said 13. It holds an edge pretty well and easy to sharpen. You have this hard plastic, but with this Grivex, I think is what they're calling this texture on this knife, but really, really good traction, really good purchase and feel in the hand, even though this is a lighter, harder feeling plastic than, say, a G10 or a micarta or steel handles. Not bad though. And anytime you get a knife, I'm not the backlock on this. I'm not the biggest fan of backlocks, but this one I've come to appreciate and love. And you just have to understand, get your finger choked up there really high, it's going to stop it, so you can safely get your hand out of the way and allow that to close. So one-handed operation. But yeah, the acoustics of that, huh? Let's get a little closer to the mic. Hopefully that translates well, because man, what a great sound. To me, it's it's like the sound of just a shotgun. Sometimes just the acoustics and the sounds enough to let you know that, hey, I think you better reevaluate the situation that you are getting yourself into. Man, big, beefy, that triple pocket clip. Not deep carry, but yeah, not bad. This can be tight in some really thick pants, so that's the only issue I've had with that, and it's been a champ. Love the Cold Steel SR1 Lite. So, Cold Steel, kind of for a while there, I know I've seen so many people reference. And I think I've got some of their tactical tomahawks and their gunstock war club, and some of the other really interesting, fun things that they've made. But it's only been within the recent year or so here that I've been buying some of their actual knives, and even their San Mai Tanto is a pretty damn nice knife, and I appreciate it. So light compared to some other things out there, given its length and size. So, well, you're not gonna go wrong. I mean, $35-$40 on this is a good goddamn purchase, and it's a blade you could beat up, use, and abuse, and that triad lock on the back for a back lock is not a bad option to have. It is a tough, sturdy lockup. So, cheers to Cold Steel Lynn Thompson for providing years of just good knife fun, well executed design and function, much like the 1792 12-year. Such a deep, oaky, dusty corn bourbon nose to this. The banana that I usually get out of a lot of Barton 1792 products, because that is the Barton Distillery in Bardstown, Kentucky, is not as prominent, but this really does show that it has some aged quality to it. So these may not be as hard to find as other things. They're not easy to find. You're not going to find the 1792 aged 12-year readily available. It only comes out once a year in very limited quantity. So if you have the opportunity to snag and enjoy one of these, I highly recommend you do so. And let's take a little poll. You've been nosing it. It's so funny. What this 12-year reminds me of is, if you've ever been to Bardstown, Kentucky, it's surrounded by, a bunch of distilleries. And if you go there during the distilling season, spring through like early fall, I believe, the smell of bourbon mash in the air is amazing. And the smell that you get going into a rick house where bourbon is aging is spectacular. Like I said, I have a special place in my heart for 1792. First big distillery I went and did a barrel pick at for some foolproof 1792. And that was like literally like a month after the big barrel house collapse that they had there. So it's kind of an experience. You're looking at the plumb bob sitting at the floor, making sure that thing's dead on. And yeah. Let's take a couple look at maybe, a couple looks. We'll do two comparisons here. We're going to bust out a couple more Tantos that we'll get to do a full review and give them their proper respect. But there is the Civivi Brazen. Really nice. Civivi does well. Great looking knife. Smaller, sleeker, lighter than the SR1 Lite. And this may not be a good reference for anybody out there, but we'll do a little oddball outlier here. So there's the Eka Swede T9. Another lockback design of a different design. This handle here is how you disengage that back lock. Great knife. I've had this for a while. It's an oddball. Swedish made Eka from Eskilstuna. I'm probably saying that wrong. Sweden. All right. with all this said, hope you guys enjoyed this. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, give me some comments. I'm really looking for, some feedback on these videos. And with that said, have a nice day. Cheers.